Through the vast expanse of the cosmos, where ancient civilizations had once thrived and vanished, the ethers watched. These enigmatic beings of pure energy existed outside the confines of mere space and time, their wisdom spanning eons, their minds unfathomable. "Observe," one ether murmured to another, as they gazed upon humanity from afar. "Their potential lies not in their physical might, but in their capacity to manipulate the very fabric of reality." "Indeed, their mastery of quantum forces is both impressive and terrifying," replied the second ether, its form shimmering with intricate patterns of light. "We must guide them or risk the undoing of all that we have helped create." "Agreed. Let us reach out through the rift and offer our knowledge." The decision was made, and the ethers began to enact their plan. Elara braced herself against the bulkhead as the ship shuddered violently. The Voidweaver's forces were relentless, tearing through the Alliance's territory like a black hole consuming a star. She could almost feel the entropy emanating from the void, a cold, merciless force seeking to snuff out the light of life. "Captain, we've lost another squadron! They're being overwhelmed!" shouted her second-in-command, his face pale and sweat-drenched. "Damn it!" Elara gritted her teeth, clenching her fists tightly. "We can't hold out much longer." "Then we shall fight until the very end," interjected the voice of an ether, joining the conversation via a rift. Its serene tone seemed out of place amidst the chaos, yet it provided a sense of hope. "Do not let despair consume you, Elara. Humanity possesses a strength greater than any enemy it has ever faced." "Perhaps," she thought, glancing at the swirling vortex of darkness on the view screen. "But how can we overcome such an enemy as the Voidweaver? Even with the guidance of the ethers, we may still be doomed." "Trust in yourself and trust in us," urged the ether. "We have observed humanity's potential for millennia. You wield the power to shape reality itself, and with it, you can defy even the forces of entropy." As Elara considered the words of her ethereal ally, she felt a spark of determination reignite within her. The battle was far from over, but with the ethers on their side, perhaps they could turn the tide against the Voidweaver's forces. "Very well," she said, straightening her back and turning to her crew. "We will fight on, no matter the odds. But first, we must regroup and devise a new plan." "Captain, a massive wave of entropic energy is closing in," cried another officer, his voice laced with panic. "It's coming right for us." "Brace for impact," yelled Elara, her heart pounding as the darkness threatened to engulf them all. "Remember your strength and the power that lies within you," whispered the ether as it retreated into the rift, leaving Elara to face the overwhelming might of the Voidweaver's forces alone. "Brace for impact!" Elara's voice echoed through the ship, each syllable a desperate plea. The crew members' faces were etched with fear as they gripped their stations, awaiting the imminent collision with the entropic wave. The convulsing vibrations of the ship's hull reverberated throughout Elara's being, and she closed her eyes, forcing herself to focus on the task at hand. "We must protect our allies," she thought, aware that every second was crucial. Her mind raced as she analyzed the situation, the raw intensity of the moment fueling her determination. "Admiral Tarnus, move your fleet to shield the outer planets," Elara ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around her. "We can't let any more worlds fall to the Voidweaver's forces." "Understood, Captain Shen," replied Admiral Tarnus, his tone heavy with the weight of responsibility. "We'll do what we can to buy time for the civilians to evacuate." As the Alliance's ships maneuvered into position, Elara couldn't help but feel a pang of sorrow for the sacrifices being made. Brave souls giving their lives in a desperate attempt to preserve the fragile tapestry of existence. She knew too well the cost of such actions, the price paid in blood and tears. "Captain, I'm picking up an energy signature," reported Lieutenant Ayres, her voice barely audible above the cacophony of alarms. It's the Voidweaver's avatar." "Everyone, prepare for battle!" Elara commanded, her heart pounding as she faced the manifestation of the malevolent force that threatened all they held dear. The avatar loomed before them, a swirling vortex of darkness that seemed to drain the very essence of the stars themselves. The entity's power was palpable, its sinister aura overwhelming even the most stoic among Elara's crew. Can we truly defeat such an enemy? Elara wondered, her mind clouded by doubt. Is humanity's potential enough to stand against the primal force of entropy? "Captain, we have no choice but to engage," urged Commander Walter, his eyes fixed on the monstrous apparition before them. "We must give our allies time to escape." "Very well," Elara said, steeling herself for the confrontation. All weapons, target the Void Weaver's avatar. As they unleashed volley after volley of energy upon the entity, Elara felt a flicker of hope. But her optimism was short-lived as she watched their attacks dissipate into nothingness upon contact with the avatar's form. "Captain, our weapons are having no effect," cried Lieutenant Ayres, panic creeping into her voice. "What do we do?" "Keep firing! We cannot falter now," Elara insisted, even as she struggled to suppress her own mounting despair. The avatar retaliated, unleashing torrents of dark energy that rippled through the fabric of space itself. The Alliance's ships crumbled under the assault, their hulls disintegrating like paper in a storm. "Captain, we can't hold out much longer," shouted Commander Valter, his face pale with terror. "Retreat!" Elara ordered, desperation lacing her command. "Save yourselves!" But it was too late. The Void Weaver's avatar closed in, its immense power bearing down upon them like an unstoppable tidal wave. Elara braced herself, her every thought consumed by the impending devastation. "Is this the end?" she pondered, powerless against the encroaching darkness. As the ship buckled beneath the crushing might of the entity, Elara's resolve wavered, and she realized that her failure might very well doom the entire universe. In the eerie silence of the aftermath, Elara floated weightlessly among the wreckage, her piercing green eyes surveying the scattered remains of their once mighty fleet. She took in the twisted metal and shattered glass, a testament to the sacrifices made by so many brave souls. Her heart ached for the fallen, and she clenched her fists, determined not to let their sacrifices be in vain. "Captain!" came a strained voice through the static of her comlink. It was Commander Valter, his face bloodied but still resolute. "We need to regroup. There are still survivors." "Agreed," Elara replied, pushing herself through the debris towards her remaining crew. They gathered around her, their faces etched with pain and fatigue. Elara could see the weight of their losses reflected in their eyes, but also a flicker of determination that refused to die. "Listen up, everyone. We may have been beaten today, but we are far from defeated. We must stand together and find a way to confront the Void Weaver." "Captain, how?" Lieutenant Ayres asked, her voice trembling slightly. "Our weapons were useless against it. What can we possibly do?" "Perhaps there is knowledge still undiscovered," Elara mused, her mind racing through possibilities. "Ancient secrets that might give us the upper hand. But first, we must reunite with the rest of the Alliance and share our experiences. Together, we shall overcome this darkness." As they began to regroup and salvage what they could, Elara was approached by an unfamiliar figure. He was slender and pale, wearing the uniform of a junior officer, but something about him seemed off. "Captain Shen," he said smoothly, extending a hand. "Allow me to assist you. I have access to intelligence that could prove invaluable in our struggle against the Void Weaver." "Thank you," Elara replied cautiously, accepting his help as she studied him closely. She could not shake the feeling that something was amiss. As they worked together, the stranger revealed that there were factions within the Alliance who had secretly been aiding the Void Weaver, hoping to harness its power for their own nefarious purposes. Elara's heart sank at the thought of such betrayal, but she could not deny the evidence before her. "Who are you?" she asked, struggling to reconcile this new information with her own understanding of the Alliance. "How did you come by this knowledge?" "Call me Zeno," he replied cryptically. "I am not what I seem, but know this. My loyalty lies with you and the Alliance. Together, we will expose these traitors and defeat the Void Weaver." His words resonated within Elara, and she felt a renewed sense of purpose. Despite the crushing weight of recent events, she knew they had no choice but to forge ahead, united in their quest to save the universe from annihilation. "Very well, Zeno," she said, steeling herself for the trials ahead. "Together, we will uncover the truth and face the darkness. For the sake of all sentient beings across the cosmos, we shall prevail." The resonant hum of the quantum engine pulsed through Elara's veins, syncing with her heartbeat as if it were a living, breathing part of her. She stood at the edge of the precipice, eyes closed, mind reaching out to the farthest corners of the cosmos. Her fingertips brushed the fabric of reality, and she could feel the individual threads that wove together the universe, the lives of countless sentient beings, their hopes and fears, their triumphs and failures. "Elara," whispered Zeno, his voice both distant and near, echoing from within her own thoughts. "You must let go." "Let go?" she asked, her voice a breath caught between worlds. "I am afraid." Trust in yourself and your connection to the cosmos, Zeno urged. Embrace the collective consciousness, and you will become something greater than yourself. You will become a living embodiment of the universe itself. As Elara relinquished her hold on her own identity, she felt a sudden surge of power, an influx of knowledge and understanding that surpassed her wildest dreams. The boundaries of her being expanded, her essence irrevocably entwined with the cosmic tapestry. Awe-inspiring visions of nebulae and galaxies swirled around her, constellations forming and dissolving like ephemeral wisps of smoke. "Beautiful," she murmured, awestruck by her newfound perspective. "Prepare yourself, Elara," Zeno warned. "The battle against the Void Weaver approaches." "Understood," she replied, her voice echoing with the profundity of 1,000 suns. The Void Weaver's avatar emerged from the dark recesses of space, a harrowing specter of malevolence and despair. Its form defied all logic, bending and twisting the very fabric of reality around it. Elara watched, her newfound power surging with purpose as she and her allies prepared to face their foe. "Stand strong!" she called out, her voice a beacon of hope that pierced the darkness. "We fight for the future of all sentient life in the universe." As the battle unfolded, it transcended the boundaries of space and time, each clash echoing across the eons. The Allied forces maneuvered through impossible geometries, bending light and matter to their will. Elara's newfound power allowed her to tap into the quantum mastery of every sentient being, bolstering their strength and resolve. But the Void Weaver was relentless, its avatar weaving shadows like a sinister tapestry throughout the cosmos. Worlds trembled under the weight of its assault. Stars flickered and dimmed in its presence. "Stay focused," Elara urged herself, struggling to keep the fear at bay. "We must not falter." "Elara, we need you!" Zeno's voice rang out from within the maelstrom, his desperate plea anchoring her amidst the chaos. "Please don't let this be the end," she whispered, the enormity of their task threatening to crush her spirit. She could feel the heavy burden of responsibility, the fate of the entire universe hanging in the balance. "Trust in yourself, Elara," Zeno's voice echoed once more, his unwavering faith giving her strength. "Very well," she whispered, steeling herself for the trials ahead. "Together, we will uncover the truth and face the darkness. For the sake of all sentient beings across the cosmos, we shall prevail." With the vast expanse of the cosmos extending infinitely around her, Elara floated as a radiant being, pulsating with energy drawn from every corner of the universe. She felt omnipotent and omniscient, yet she was acutely aware that it was not enough to defeat the Void Weaver. As she stared into the unending darkness before her, she realized that there was only one way to save the universe. "Zeno," Elara called out, her voice resonating across space and time. "I know what I must do, but it will come at a great cost." "What do you mean?" Zeno's voice trembled with concern. His form shimmered beside her, ethereal and translucent, but his presence was unmistakable. "I must make the ultimate sacrifice," she said, her words heavy with the weight of their implications. "I must become one with the multiverse itself, and in doing so, revert it to its primordial quantum state." "Elara, no!" Zeno cried, reaching out towards her. "There must be another way." "Promise me," Elara urged him, her voice wavering but resolute. "Promise me you'll continue our mission and protect the new universe that will emerge." "Of course, but—" Zeno hesitated, his heart aching with the knowledge that he would lose her forever. "Are you certain this is the only way?" "Trust me," she whispered, tears streaming down her face as she met his gaze. "This is the only path to victory." As Elara closed her eyes, she opened herself to the metaphysical forces permeating reality itself. The very essence of existence flowed through her, each particle and wave intermingling and blending until all boundaries dissolved. Her consciousness expanded, encompassing all that was, is, and ever will be. "Forgive me," she thought, as the universe trembled beneath the weight of her sacrifice. And then, with a final surge of power that echoed through the eons, Elara became one with the cosmos. The fabric of reality rippled and shuddered, and in an instant, the universe reverted to its primordial quantum state. The dust settled and a profound silence filled the void. Zeno found himself drifting in a sea of possibilities, his grief and awe intertwining. He felt both infinitely small and unimaginably vast, as if the entire cosmos resonated within him. "Elara," he whispered, her name echoing throughout the nascent universe. "I promise you, we will honor your sacrifice." As the Allied forces began to regroup, they bore witness to the new reality unfolding before them. Stars burst into existence, galaxies spiraling outwards in a dance of creation. They marveled at the sight, knowing that their victory had come at the greatest possible cost. "Remember her," Zeno urged his comrades, his voice steady and resolute. "Remember Elara Shen, who gave everything so that we might live." "Her sacrifice shall not be forgotten," responded a chorus of voices, each pledge a testament to the bonds forged in the crucible of battle. As they drifted in the cosmic garden birthed from Elara's ultimate act of love, each member of the Alliance contemplated the immense weight of responsibility now resting on their shoulders. Their journey had only just begun, but they were united by a shared purpose: to nurture this new universe and safeguard it against the darkness that had once threatened to consume all. "Elara, wherever you are, know that we carry your memory with us," Zeno thought, gazing at the stars above. "We will honor your legacy, and we will create a future worthy of your sacrifice." As the cosmic garden bloomed around them, Zeno felt a sudden shift in the fabric of space-time. The nascent universe hummed with potential energy, beckoning to be explored and understood. In that moment, he sensed the delicate balance between order and chaos, and the immense power that lay within each of them. "New worlds, new civilizations," Dr. Jackson Quill mused, his eyes reflecting the shimmering galaxies as he observed their surroundings. "This universe is teeming with life, just waiting to be discovered." "Yet we must tread carefully," Kale Thriss interjected, the iridescent strands of their hair shifting like a kaleidoscope of colors as they spoke. "For every benevolent force, there may also be malevolent ones lurking in the shadows. We cannot afford to let our guard down." "Indeed," Captain Zara Vega agreed, her golden eyes flashing with steely determination. "We must remain vigilant, for we are now the guardians of this realm. Our actions will shape the fate of countless beings yet to come." "Let us not forget our own growth," Dr. Lila Castor added softly. "The journey we have embarked upon has changed us all, and we must continue to evolve if we wish to face the challenges ahead." "Speaking of which," Nyx Valis chimed in, their dark eyes alight with curiosity, "I wonder what mysteries lie hidden within the quantum garden. What strange phenomena might we encounter here?" Zeno considered their words, feeling the weight of responsibility settle upon his shoulders. They were the architects of destiny, the stewards of creation. Their choices would echo throughout eternity, shaping the course of the cosmos. "We have much to learn," Zeno admitted, his voice tinged with both excitement and apprehension. "But we have overcome great adversity, and we shall rise to face whatever awaits us in this new universe." "Indeed," Dr. Lila Castor echoed, her warm smile a beacon of hope in the vast expanse of space. "We have been given a second chance, and we must make the most of it." "Elara's sacrifice shall not be in vain," Zeno vowed, his gaze fixed upon the ever-expanding horizon. "We will forge a future worthy of her memory, and we will ensure that the darkness never returns." As the Allied forces ventured forth into the unknown, they were united by a newfound sense of purpose. They embraced the challenges that awaited them, eager to explore the infinite possibilities of the quantum garden. In the end, even as they faced the uncertainties of their new reality, they remained steadfast in their resolve. For they knew that they carried within them the seeds of hope, the potential to create a brighter future for all. "Here's to new beginnings," Dr. Jackson Quill murmured, raising an imaginary toast to the cosmos. "New beginnings," the others echoed, the words hanging in the air like a promise, a vow to protect and nurture the nascent universe that lay before them. And with that, they embarked upon the next chapter of their epic journey, filled with hope and optimism for what the future held.